Hey everyone, how you doing? This is one where I was really on the fence about making a video at all this morning. Always have a lot on my mind, but um, only a small part of it is about music right now. Even though I'm still, kind of in a recovery phase from seeing swans. I don't know if you call it recovery, but no, the best way to put it is I've been inspired. So I guess I'll focus on that first. But I have a lot of thoughts regarding just the general um, mood of the not just the country. It's a global community now, for better or worse. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's good and there's a whole lot bad about this being a global community, mainly economically. But I'll talk about music to start with. I saw swans a few nights ago, and since then I've been really busy, recording and not composing, but um, how do you say? I'm not writing songs. I'm composing. I'm composing. I don't sound. I'm using sound, but I'm doing work, and it's feeling good. And Michael Gyra inspired me. His process, meeting him, watching up close what he's doing. I mean, after playing music for 30 years, to play one note, the whole band only plays one note for 20, 25 minutes, and to be that moved, it almost causes one to rethink everything, but not really. Really, what it has done is it's inspired me, and it has liberated me even more to just be okay with my own process. Okay. I try too hard sometimes to please people, and I hate admitting that. But that can be the case. Whereas Michael is an example of a person who is chasing his demon, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. He is about what he is about. If you like him or don't, doesn't matter. He could even come off as a prick, and I admire that, because I always want to be nice. I'm always trying to encourage niceness, but there's a time and place for both, all aspects of the personality. Um, a friend that was at the show early shared with me that she saw the sound check, and that Michael was really berating the band and screaming and stomping. And I really wasn't surprised. She was, but I wasn't surprised when I stopped to think about it. It's like when you know what you want and you want it, well, that's what you want. And sometimes that's what you have to get. Like, matter of fact, during the show, I noticed that he motioned to Phil that he wanted him to start a pulse, and he kind of tried to show him physically and mouth it, and Phil just interpreted, but he didn't get it right at first. And Michael's just right in front of everybody, just no, 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 and he's moving his body to try to help Phil find the beat, which he does. Again, this just really made a huge impression on me. I've seen it done before. James Brown was good at it. Sun Ra does it, Prince in his own way does it, But afterwards, talking to all the band members, engaging, their feeling about this is like, for them, it's worth it. Michael, please beat me up. With what we're going to achieve with you, bring it on, dude. That was inspiring. Not that I'm going to be a son of a bitch to any musicians I play with, but it was just, one of the criticisms that's been leveled at me by my friend Joe Budenholzer, who a Backworld, says, Dereck, you're too nice. And I've always felt very defensive about that. But, there's a lot of truth in that, Finding the balance is tough. Of the two Swans related records I bought, this one I've listened to the most. This one I have to get back to. Brett, you were wanting to know what I think of this. And my first impression is it's not going to be a pleasant experience, not that it needs to be, but it's going to be one where I'll need to sit down with it and let it have its way with me. Like this. This is raw and beautiful in places. It also has parts where it's all rural and country, which, you know, kind of at first will stick in my craw, but if I just don't think about it and let it go, then I just let it happen, you know what I'm saying? And I'm with it. This is very, very good. Very inspiring. I haven't been listening to much music these last few days because I've been working. I really have been. And one of the things I've been doing is recording my refrigerator, which may sound funny, but my refrigerator is, it makes some interesting noises, so I've been recording them. But one of the records that has been played on repeat since I bought it is Catatonia, Dead End Kings. I just really, really relate to the melancholy and the quiet resignation of the sound of this music and his voice. I've looked at the words and they don't really come through to me. It's the sound of this music and the name of the album, Dead End Kings. I relate to it. It's like there is nothing we can do to keep us from sliding further and further into the abyss. And so it's the sound of deep resignation, a knowing, a weary knowing, kind of there's a sad beauty to this, you know. It's like, it's noble. It's like we're past the point of looking for false hope or trying to say it's going to get better. No, we're on a dead end. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? And be glorious, you know, in that state. That's what I get from it. I love this. It's not what Catatonia used to be. I like this a lot, and I'll say it again. It sounds like the kind of music that people who have grown up are making, you know. Some of us are not in a state of, this is not a diss, this is an honest comment. You take it the way you want to, folks. I am thinking of a couple of you guys in particular. But some of us are not in a forever state of adolescence. We move on. That doesn't mean that if you listen to heavy metal, you are in a delayed state of adolescence. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that some people who did that, as they grow, the music naturally changes. I think that's what's happened with Catatonia. This new album is superb. All these records I bought, it's one that's getting played a lot. I just reminded myself I need to pull out the deer hoof and get familiar with it because I like it, but I put it away too soon. Catatonia has made a strong impression on me. So it's a funny time to be trying to talk about being in business when, see, I can't help but be aware of the larger picture here. Whereas on an individual level, I feel a lot of satisfaction and accomplishment in the last few years. It's all overshadowed by, you know, the entire economic base that we work on being on the precipice of just literally falling apart planetarily. You know what I'm saying? So that is always kind of in the back of my mind about how things are going. So, for example, I when it comes to the music business, you know, I'm going to show you some things that I worked on this weekend, but I also realize that, you know, a lot of people that may be interested in this don't have the money for it. And that's just the way things are right now. And you think this year was bad. Yeah, next year's going to be worse, people, economically. And shit turning around next year. Next year's going to be harder. You know, do I hope it won't be? Well, of course. But when as a sane person with his eyes open, trying to be awake, looking at everything going on, it's pretty obvious that we have a lot further down to go before we start to turn this around. So with that said, I constructed a CD-EP of some of what I've been doing, as well as some pieces I've done recently of not music per se, but sound music. And I've made a product, you know, I can show them to you. If anyone is interested and has any money to back up your interest, to get a hold of me, because they are for sale. But mostly what I did was I created out of the need to create, and then what do you do with it? Well, you know what I'm saying, you culminate. One of the things we culminate with is we make a product, or we make something. And with music and art, you make something. So I made a series that I started what I'm calling my Oral Exploration series, and this is number 1. Oral Exploration series number 1. And what I've done is I've compiled 6 of the, well, actually, since I made these, I've created 2 new pieces that are better than, I really think it's better than what's on these, but this is some good stuff. But I went ahead and made a handful of these CDRs. This is my collage artwork. Each one is different. The music, the sound on each of these is the same, but each one has a different cover. Here's one. Here's one. And it's all my collage artwork, or just my artwork, period. And the CDs are also, I illustrated each one specifically, you know. Having fun. I've been having fun with this, you know, making art, you know. Each one is individual, has individual art, comes with a little card that tells you what it is. These aren't numbered because I don't know how many I'll make, but I made about, what, 6, 7 of these. That's one cover. Here's another. Those are Aaron's synthesizer. That's just a little, you can see one of his patchworks. Here's another. I like all these, you know, and I can eternally entertain myself by looking at these and keeping these, you know. Be happy to keep these, actually. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're for sale, $10 a piece for now, plus shipping. Each one is individual, but I also know that, you know, money is horrid right now, and many of you that would like to have these, you know, you need to be, not need to, but you have to feed yourself. You have to put gas in the car. So I completely understand that, you know, my record sales are slow. I'll also understand that I say these are for sale and maybe no one buys one. I understand. It's the way of the world. You know, these things are always in my mind. So, but I've created them, and I think, and I don't think that was the main thing, was to do it. The process was the main thing. But some of you may want one of these, you know. I am going to actually get a hold of a couple people individually who I know are always interested in my work and find ways to buy it. But how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $10 a piece plus shipping. But that's what I've been doing more than listening this weekend, is I've been creating. And so today, what will happen today? I don't know. Will today maybe be a different day where I do some listening? Well, to start off, yeah, or I'll check the morning news on TV, because when I do a video like this, it takes an hour, you know, which really, I bitch because it does. It pisses me off. It's, you know, it's like it locks my shit up. And I have a laptop, but the laptop, I don't have wireless. And so, anyway, Uh, one more thing I keep forgetting. It is easy to forget. I got some vinyl community love from mgfoster. Matt, I believe, sent me a CD, and that's why I keep forgetting, because it's easy to forget CDs. I listened to this all the way through. Thank you, Matt. This is some techno. Basic Channel. Thanks, Matt. Excuse me. I appreciate it very much, Matt. Very much. Also, I did a late night mix last night of some electronic music, and it's up on my Mixcloud page. So have a listen, people. It's like it's another way of trying to share my world with you. The world that I live in my head. I guess the last thing I'll say is, I am thinking a lot about the world and uh, and and international affairs and the Middle East. This mess, supposedly because of a movie, and the reaction to it. I mean, to think that an independent made film made in America could cause people to destroy their own lives over in the Middle East, and and we have the power to just take it off, take it off YouTube, and people take all kinds of stuff off the air and off of YouTube and off the internet. And this one is, people are dying, and it's still on. I don't know about you, but that tells me a lot about the true state of leadership and what's going on. Mankind matters for naught. We're pawns. Folks that are running game are running game, and we're in the way. I don't know if one of you people that are my friends, that say that you disagree with me, if this is one of the things you disagree with me about, do you know something I don't? Because I'm telling you, what's there to, it's just so plain that power plays for itself and everything else is just a show. We have no value, except to ourselves. Some of you actually believe that the governments and leaders are representing you? Mm. What?